Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel, and furthermore, welcome back to yet another exciting figure review. Tonight, we're taking a look at the Monsterverse Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire 3.25-inch Godzilla Evolved by Playmates. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, this is basically a scaled-up version of the 2-inch Godzilla Evolved that came in the Hollow Earth Mystery Crystals a while back. So I'm super excited to see what has changed between this version of the 2-inch figure. So without further ado, let's quickly go over the packaging. It is literally just on a card here. You can see some Hollow Earth crystals, you can see some lightning, electricity in the background, Godzilla x Kong, see that really cool kind of high-tech look with the banner that says Godzilla Evolved, it says Playmates, Toho, Legendary, all that legal stuff. You can see the figure there in this kind of bubble right there on the side. And he looks pretty decent. I feel like the paintwork is a lot better than it was on the 2-inch, mainly because it's bigger, so you have a lot more stuff to do. You have a lot more room to do better stuff for a bigger figure. The back of the box, you just see Godzilla x Kong, the New Empire. You can see Godzilla Evolved. You can see King Kong, and they both look really cool. You can see some more crystals, electricity. There's like those two kind of pyramids that are in the Hollow Earth Iwi civilization. Really cool stuff. But that pretty much wraps it up for the packaging. So without further ado, I'm going to get this one unboxed, and we'll take a closer look at our 3.25-inch Godzilla Evolved. Like any Godzilla figure, some assembly is required. Comes out of the box in 2 pieces. The main body right here, which looks really cool. And then obviously there is the tail. The tail simply just plugs in to the body. Oh, they really make this kind of stiff. Yeah, they never make it easy to put these tails on. Oh, I might need a few minutes. That's pretty tight, and it looks like it is articulation, which is already looking good. Alright, here is the 3.25-inch Godzilla Evolved out of the packaging. Now, I do have some negatives to say about this figure, but let's get off with the positives first. So, positives, I really like how uniform the atomic energy on this guy is. I love how uniform the pink is, and there is no obvious cuts like the mainline figures. So that's really cool. And even the detail on these guys, right? The detail is super good. Now, this is clearly just a rescaled version of that Hollow Earth Mystery Crystal Godzilla Evolved. But I feel like even for like such small figures here, they managed to put decent detail here. You got all that scale work. You got like scoots and spikes and plastioderms. The plastioderms on the tail are very obvious, but on Monsterverse Godzilla, they usually are. You got this really cool Thagomizer. He's going to be smacking people with that, I'm sure. And it just looks really, really cool. Now, a bonus of this guy, articulation. Something that the 2-inch figure that came in the Mystery Crystals did not have, which I think is just really, really cool. And a nice addition to the small figure. Now, for comparison, I'll bring in the small figures. You can kind of see the two of them together. So here is the 3.25-inch compared to the 2-inch. So he's not that much bigger than the Mystery Crystal version, but he's still a fair size, and I feel like the reason why he's so big is to give him that little bit of articulation that I feel really makes this figure work and stand out from what came before it. But nonetheless, still a really cool figure. Now, I guess we'll go into my gripes for the figure, and that would start with this face. Camera does not want to focus. His face does not look like a dinosaur's face. It looks like a special sauce dolphin. Take that as you will. Now, they did put some teeth in there, which I think is really cool. They put some teeth in his gob, but his nose just feels too long to me, and the eyes, well, not the greatest. I feel like the regular figure did it the same way. It just feels weird to me. The special sauce chicken dolphin face that it has looks weird to me. And then going into the bottom here, you can see there is a very obvious cut from the detail on the bottom of it, right? There's this really awesome kind of beigeish gray color that just stops at the tail. More than that, well, yes, it's all the same color here. The pink gets really weak onto the tail. Like, I feel like they could have at least made it a little bit like more intense, and then got like more faded as it went down his tail. But I feel like that's so small. But the main problems I have is, even at this bigger scale compared to the 2-inch, they still gave it that special sauce dolphin face, and then didn't even, fix the tail paint here. Like, this tail has no paint on the bottom of it. It just looks bad to me. It does not look good to me at all. But other than that, with those, minor problems, it looks okay. It's a decent Godzilla figure, and it does something different than what came before it, right? You have the small figure, which is really cool, part of like a sort of blind bag gimmick with the hollow earth crystals. Doesn't have articulation, looks kind of basic. And then you scale it up, you give it more paint, and you actually give it articulation. So I'm glad that this wasn't just a blown up version of that 2-inch figure. They blew it up, they gave it slightly better paint, and they even added articulation to make it different from what came before. So I respect that. With that being said, that pretty much wraps up the video. Pretty cool Godzilla Evolved 3.25-inch figure. Obviously, it looks awesome. Additions of articulation are great. The only problems I have is they did not change that horrible face sculpt. It just looks bad. And then there was no paint on the bottom of the tail. What's up with that, Playmates? But with that being said, pretty solid figure. And I do recommend picking it up if you weren't a fan of the Hollow Earth crystals. You can get bigger versions of all of those figures. You can get the 3.25-inch figures of obviously Godzilla, as you've seen here, but Kong, Scar King, and of course, everyone's favorite, Shimo. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Do take care, have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.